Petra's edge at the apex. On the outskirts of the city, where the tall buildings began to fade, Petra worked on her project, the apex of success. It was a grand office complex that had been designed by her firm over a long span of time. Today, the air was foggy and gray. Petra looked at the site and sighed. The construction could have been finished sooner, but many obstacles had been faced. Success, she knew, was not something you could just bet on or beg for. It was a deliberate result of dedication and willpower. In her temporary office, an array of business quotations and offers covered her desk. Each quote had to be carefully reviewed to see whether the prices would suffice for the remaining budget. A workaround must be found, she thought. She was not someone to admit defeat easily. She refused to frown at the rising costs. Instead, she chose to arrange her tasks in complex loops of productivity. She used a drag-and-drop system on her computer to organize the supply chain, ensuring every intent was clear. To clear her mind, Petra decided to visit the local Easter fair. It wasn't a theme park with loud rides, but a traditional fair held in a muddy field. As she walked, her boots sank into the wet mud. She realized that the path to success was often like this ground, messy and difficult to navigate. A lucky charm might have given some people hope, but Petra relied on her own bearing and focus. She would not let the gray weather distract her from her goals. At the fair, she met an old man named Silas who was selling traditional Easter goods. He was a retired baker who had come out of retirement just for the holy season. Silas offered her a piece of savory bread. "The yeast makes it rise," he said with a smile. "Just like a good career, it needs time and the right environment to grow." Petra tasted the bread, which was filled with ramson and raisins. It was delicious. Silas showed her how to use an old wooden rattle, a device used to reveal the start of the holiday ceremonies. "We honor the traditions passed on by the saints," he explained. He showed her a small mold used to shape edible ornaments. He told her that even in times of betrayal or hardship, the spirit of the community would endure. He tied a bright red ribbon around a small bundle of twigs and gave it to her as a gift. Petra felt a sense of sanctuary at the fair. She shared her troubles about the apex of success with Silas. She mentioned how a certain quotation for the glass windows had come up much higher than expected. Silas listened patiently. "Perhaps the price is high because the quality is etched in the work," he suggested. He offered to give her a lift back to the outskirts in his old truck, as the fog was becoming even thicker. As they drove, Silas spoke about the importance of not seeking instant gratification. "Problems compound if you ignore them," he said. "But if you face them with a deliberate mind, you find your edge." Petra realized that her edge was her ability to remain calm when things were foggy. She didn't need a lucky charm. She needed her own internal strength. The obstacles were just parts of the journey to be conquered. Back at her office, the memory of the fair stayed with her. She looked at the chimney of the old farmhouse nearby and felt a sense of peace. She began to reevaluate the business offers. She realized that a lower quote might have been a mistake in the past. High-quality work was worth the investment. She would not be distracted by short-term savings. The project was her way to honor her profession. She spent the night working, her willpower pushing her through the fatigue. She used the drag-and-drop software to finalize the new budget. The passive voice of the old reports was replaced with active, bold decisions. She etched her new plan into the project's strategy. By dawn, the fog had cleared, and the sun began to reveal the true beauty of the apex. The mud on her boots had dried, a symbol of the struggle she had overcome. On Easter morning, the project reached a new milestone. The building stood tall against the clear blue sky. Silas visited the site, bringing more savory treats. Petra felt a deep sense of success. She had learned that whether the weather is foggy or fair, dedication is what matters most. "You found your edge, Petra," Silas said. She smiled, knowing that the journey was just as important as the destination.